Yay! Almost on time. It's 9:01 according to my clock. I didn't try to redo the thumbnail 17 times this time. They all come out looking just as goofy. Hello, everybody. One person is here. Hey. Hello, Brenna. 3 people are here. I'm going to officially break my 15-day challenge promise a teeny tiny bit. I started eating before 9 o'clock. I said I'm not going to eat anything after 9. So technically I started before 9. So hello, Wendy. Hello, Vanessa. Hello, Jen. Hello, Jennifer. So I'm just going to finish this up that I started eating because I was running around trying to get ready for the show and I need to eat one more meal. I only had one meal today. But technically part of my 15-day commitment was to not eat after 9. So by midnight when I go to bed, I won't have a full stomach. So you technically usually sleep better that way. Hi, Allison, Pat, Lords, Julie. Everybody shout out where you're from. Where are you from? Where are you from? Ohio. Yo. Hello. Hello, Georgia. Is yo a place or are you just saying yo? Might be an abbreviation of a state. Yoklahoma. Oklahoma, Michigan. Australia. Thank you for being with us in early morning for you. New York. I left my heart in New York City. Is that how the song goes? Louisiana, Colorado, Arkansas, Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Oh, that was terrible. I'm gonna try to do a song for every state. No, I don't think I know one. Florida, wearing shorts, yay. Miami, Roanoke, Virginia. That's a historic place, I think. Hello, Spike. Hello, Julie. Lots of bushfires. Oh, that's not good. Stay. I'd say stay hydrated, but keep yourself hydrated on the outside. That'll protect you from fires, in my imagination. Debbie, Brenda, Allison, Julie, yay. Anybody else from anywhere else? We have Australia. I think that's the farthest. I used to look at a globe and I'd go straight through. Everybody said you like in America, if you dig down in the ground and go straight through the center of the earth, you end up in China. But when I looked at the globe, I usually ended up more in Australia. And Australia kind of looks like an upside down United States to me. So I thought, I don't know what I thought. I was just a dumb kid. Malaysia. Malaysia. I love it. I love it. Any other faraway places? I can't even picture Malaysia on a map. I'm going to have to look it up after this. This is Chinese because I didn't eat my second meal today. I have to have at least 2 big meals, and I shouldn't eat after 9, but I started eating after 9, and I had to hurry up and set this up. Utah. I heard all the roads in Utah are a perfect grid. Perfect right angles, streets going, all making numbered sense, everything. No crazy spaghetti like other places. You tell me if that's true, person from Utah. Hello, Florida, Virginia. And I also heard Boston is the worst with spaghetti streets. I would be so lost. I get lost in the easiest places. gonna try something real fast. Forgive me. I'm gonna go vertical. Hope this doesn't freak anyone out. I want to see. Oh, no. They don't want me to go vertical. That is so funny. Okay. Xanadu. Where is Xanadu? Tell me. Is that... forgive me for my lack of geographical knowledge. Is Xanadu... I don't even know if that's a city or a country or a state and where it is. Sounds like it might be Africa. Oh my goodness. Alaska? Where is Xanadu? Somebody, the person who said Xanadu, know where they are. Beverly, where are you? Hello, Pauline. First question. How did you get into jewelry making and how long have you been doing it? I have a whole video explaining it. It's called, write this down, get a pen, because it's a long title. Oh, Xanadu is a movie? Oh, it's a movie about a dog, isn't it? Here I'm thinking it's some exotic location. All right, let me answer the first question. Chris, hold on to that. If I don't answer it, ask it again. First question: how did I get into jewelry? How long have I been doing? Write this down with a pen. There's a video called "Long Boring Story." Long boring story about how I got into art. Watch that video. It's like 35 minutes long, but I'll tell you the short answer. My dad was an art teacher. I'm very comfortable around creative things. Like I dive in. I'm like the kid who never knew how to swim and jumps in head first in the deep end and figures it out while I'm drowning. That's me with creative stuff. Left brain stuff, coding, paperwork, dotting your I's, crossing your T's. I'm like terrified. I'm like an infant. I'm like completely handicapped. So I was raised very creative and I wanted to do art or music, and I tried selling art. I tried selling paintings. I tried selling pottery. I saw someone making jewelry. It was much easier to sell. I tried it out. I was the only form of art I could make a living off of, where I could find people like impulse. People would spend 10 or 20 bucks all day long for a pair of earrings. Not a lot of people had $100 spent on a vase. Not a lot of people even owned a home. I mean, you're of all the people on earth, like 100%. The percentage that actually own their own home, maybe less than 50, or whatever, or have them for a vase, or have $100 to throw around. And not even fewer people had $1,000 or $500 to throw around on a painting. So jewelry it was, and I've been doing it for about 10 years now. Okay, second, how do I keep my fingers from getting hurt? I tend to have good natural body kinesthetics. It's weird. I never got into sports because my dad was a creative guy. He wasn't into sports. He was always into like art and music, but to the point where every time I fall, I'm like a cat. I kind of like stretch out and everything slows down and I kind of can sense where everything is going. And so when I fall down, I fall in the least damaging way. So I tell people my superpower is I fall well. That's the only time I ever hurt myself falling was when I had a backpack come up in my face, and that distracted me and it messed up the whole process. Little bit of trivia that I have no idea, but I think it goes to my fingers. Like if I'm doing something and it starts to hurt, I stop immediately. I don't like if it hurts my wrist, whoa, no way. But if it hurts my fingers, if it hurts anything, so I'm always using the tools, to do the work. And I'm always trying to get, I'm always telling people, like when you go to bend the wire, try not to use little muscles. Try not to bend like this. Try not to crank. Try not to get in weird positions. Try to work. And carpenters will tell you this too. My best friend's a carpenter that I grew up with. Try to go from your shoulder. Try to go from bigger muscles. Try to Even if you feel like you're a caveman, instead of going like this, try to go like this to get your whole body into it. I learned that in pottery too. When you throw a vase like on the spinning wheel, people think you're doing all your hands. It's not at all. You're actually your entire body is clamping around a piece like a vice, like a giant vice. You're actually pushing more from your stomach and your knees and your elbows and your shoulders than you are from your hands. It's like kind of like riding a bike takes your entire body to get it right. So with jewelry, I've never had my fingers hurt. Never. Like you might get calluses, but I played guitar and that, that's not a big deal. I mean, like maybe on your fingertips. I've cut through a lot of nails. My nails look pretty messed up right now. You don't want to see them. But I'm like, as far as hurting my fingers, I've never really hurt my fingers. Okay, that's a long answer. Yeah, someone paid $120,000 for banana duct tape to a wall. That is good news for you and bad news. The banana taped to a wall, it was big news. There's tons of stupid things in art like that every single day. The banana just happened to pick up the press, the attention of the press. There is way stupider stuff. There's paintings that look like 3 rectangles of different colors, not even nice rectangles, like some 7-year-old slopped them on. And those have gone for like 1 point something million. The art world is really weird. It's good news for you because you being anybody who wants to get into something creative, because art like 100, 2, 3, 4, 500 years ago used to be much more snobby. You had to go to school for years. You had to refine and refine and refine, and you were a nobody, and you had to pop your head out slowly and make a name for yourself after you learned like years and years of skills. And maybe that was a good thing in some ways because the art was refined and everything. But all this garbage art, and I'm sorry to say that might be very offensive to some people, but the new idea that anything is beautiful if you want it to be, which I don't agree with. I think there's universal statements of aesthetics that go with science, that go with everything, that go with the way your brain interprets the world. There's certain things that look more elegant and balanced and beautiful when it comes to color, structure, everything. So I don't believe this like everything is beautiful equally. But what all those crazy people do, painting giant rectangles on a canvas and selling it for 1 point something million, they're breaking a lot of walls out, and that opens up a lot of room for us, you, me, a bunch of people who might not be classically trained in art but have very creative sense and want to start exploring and maybe even giving things away as gifts and maybe even selling things. We're not asking for thousands of dollars at the start unless you're some marketing genius that blows me out of the water. But if you paint something on a canvas and somebody pays $10 for it your first time, that's an exciting thing. Granted, if it didn't take you like 30 hours, let's say it took you half an hour to an hour and somebody pays $10, that's exciting. And there's a lot more room for all kinds of art. And there's a lot of people out there with much more open minds to say that, like, I like this beautiful curve and I like this little circle and this square, and it would look great on my wall and it would complement, the colors would complement my wallpaper and the couch and everything. And so it doesn't have to be a masterpiece that took 6 months to create. It could be something you could paint in a few hours or half an hour. And if you think it's beautiful and you believe in it, and there's other people out there, you can meet someone else who thinks it's beautiful, then you can sell a painting, you with no training at all. And that's awesome. What's it called? Whew. That is funny. Sorry, I just an instant message just popped up and I didn't know if I could answer it without turning the camera off. Okay, sorry guys. I have stopped watching your comments while I gave that whole diatribe about modern art. Let me go back. I'm going to be really good this time and try to answer all your questions. Xanadu. Okay. I decided not to do jewelry on this live because I don't want to miss all the questions. I think it's not fair. If you wait all week to ask me a question and your question gets missed because I happen to look down at that moment and then I look up and I missed it. Like, I don't think that's fair to somebody like who might be up at 2 in the morning waiting to ask their question. So I'm not going to do any live jewelry. I want to really get to all these questions. That having been said, I just went on this long tirade and missed a bunch of questions. What does it cost to have a booth? Anything from $10 to 10,000, depending on what kind of show you do. When did you pick up guitar? I was trained in piano since I was 6, but on and off. So overall, I probably got about 2 years formal training, and then I taught myself a lot of theory and a lot of by ear by after that, and then guitar was an easy transition after that. Mall kiosks are really going down in rent price because malls are dying. You don't want to go in. If you want to try it for a month, go ahead and try it. It's really hard. You got to have someone to run it 11 hours a day. You're going to burn out unless you have someone to help you. And unless you're really good at it, you're going to find you spend a lot of money on it's still going to cost about as much as the rent of an apartment, maybe a low priced apartment in that area. And it's really hard to it's hard to keep it going to the point where you make your rent back and the price and all your time and the price of your materials and everything. I was already doing it for 6 years before I tried being in a mall. And I mean doing it really I was already doing it super successfully for a year before I tried being, and even then I was shocked that I could even be in a mall. That was Dante. His optimism got me in. Weird mic stuff. Is it hard to hear me? Do I sound weird? Do I sound like I'm in a wind tunnel or anyone else confirm that there's weird mic stuff going on? If everybody says I sound weird, I'll turn this off and turn it back on real quick and see if that fixes it. Okay. All right, everyone else hears me fine. So maybe turn off your YouTube and then log back on and see it. Maybe it'll fix it. I am chewing. I apologize. Okay. Today was supposed to be I was supposed to have my friend Jen on. Jennifer. She has been a jewelry vendor. Her sister made the handmade jewelry. She and her sister partnered together for like 20 years. And she's had way more experience than me, and she was going to answer all your questions. The last minute, she had this huge thing happen. She couldn't make it. So I am here again. I will answer all your questions. I apologize she couldn't make it. And I apologize that I'm eating. I hope you guys are eating too, or sipping something, or relaxed. I hope you're comfortable. And I hope you are enjoying your evening or whatever time it is there. My favorite piece changes every week. My favorite piece is look at the last 20 videos. If you could go to the videos tab, first you go to my channel, not just a video, but go actually click not click crazy art. Then go to the videos tab and you could put it in chronological order of how they were uploaded. If you find the last 10 days of videos, one of those videos is my favorite piece at any given moment. Which chicken noodle soup. Oh, don't be sick. Those of you who've asked me questions before and got all your answers and you're just hanging out to watch, thank you so much for coming back. I love having all you guys. I'm starting to recognize a lot of your names from the comments and stuff. And from the Facebook group. Anyone watching, if you don't know about the Facebook group, Facebook page, where it's just I upload the same videos as the YouTube, and there's a Facebook group. They both are called Matt's Crazy Art. Put the word group in the search on Facebook. You should find a picture of a blue painting of a guitar, and that is a Facebook group. Join the group. You can post your own pieces, your own art, your own pictures, your own jewelry. You can talk to, it's almost 1,000 people now, and everybody's really nice, and they'll give you lots of help and advice and compliments. 10 a.m. Malaysia. I love it. I'm gonna look up Malaysia. Beautiful. Hi, Jennifer. Hold on 1 second. Oh my gosh, this is so annoying. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. All right, everybody. I had an emergency. Someone got stuck. I offered someone a ride home if they could wait till after the show, and they said no, they got a ride, and now they're texting me saying their ride fell through and they need a ride home. So they're gonna wait till after the show. But I had to answer them real quick because they were stuck with nowhere to go. So I totally apologize. What's it called? I don't even know what that looked like if that got on camera. So I'm back. I told them they're just gonna have to wait till 10:30, and then So I'm gonna do a full hour and a half here. We're almost half an hour in. Whoo! This is the weirdest live feed yet. First of all, I had a guest who was supposed to come and didn't show up. Now I'm texting in the middle of it. This is great. And eating. I'm texting, eating, and watch this. Drinking. This is hot cocoa because I can't do coffee that late. I know hot cocoa has a tiny bit of caffeine, but it's way less. Okay. Yeah, no, the person is fine. The person is staying indoors until I'm done the show. I could have stopped the show and went up and gotten them and put them on the show, but it would have literally taken like 7 minutes round trip, and I don't want to leave you guys on dead air for 7 minutes. It was buzz sound on the typing. I don't drink alcohol. That's a good question. I've never mentioned that before. I don't really. I'll talk about that sometime maybe. All right, ask me art questions or life questions. Dun, 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 dun. Coin wrapping. Okay. Coin. No, I've not wrapped coins. What I wanted to do, I wanted to get these Asian coins that have a hole in them, like that's they normally have like a square hole, and get a bunch of them. I found them on Amazon, and I was gonna put a leather strap through both sides of the hole and make the coin the top part of a bracelet, and then have the two leather straps come around and clasp, and that would be a cool bracelet because I saw a bunch of people making them and it looked really easy and really funky, and like people would pay money for those. It's so funny what the simplest things people pay money for. I never actually ordered them. They're sitting on my Amazon possibility list, whatever that is. That's the closest I came. I never actually wrapped coins with wire. That's I don't know if I'd like the metal scraping on metal, but who knows? Yeah, it would be a cool choker. Yes, I made these pieces. Made this for a video. Come on, camera, focus. There we go. Sort of. There we go. I made that for a video. I made this when I did the deer antler video. I did like 7 deer antler videos, or at least 5. This is up higher. So I wear them both at once because it draws more attention to the booth. Like I'm like big flaunting stuff. Like you can't look me up and down and not know that I'm wearing something that looks like it goes with the booth. And then when I go out, what I used to do, these are a little crazy. What I used to do is wear a very simple arrowhead or something, and then count how many days it took until somebody wanted to buy it off of my neck. That was fun. I used to usually sell them at a store when I was getting food. Someone would be like, "That's an awesome piece." I'd be like, "Oh, I make it. Would you like to own this?" And they'd be like, "Are you serious?" And I'd give them a really low price. And they'd be like, "That's awesome. I'll buy it right now." And so I'd buy my food, and then they'd buy a necklace. And sometimes I came out ahead. But now I don't do that so much because I wear these pieces a lot, and I get all, sometimes I fall asleep with them, and I just don't want to sell somebody something that I've been wearing for weeks and weeks. It's just because it's not as fresh as if it was brand new. Yes, polymer clay. There's a polymer clay video. Please watch it. It's called Polymer Clay under Matt's Crazy Art. I think it's called Polymer Clay. And it's hilarious because under the comments, that's where I got my first hate comments. It was awesome. Like one woman got all mad. She was like a professional polymer clay maker. And she told her community of polymer clay makers how horrible this video was. And they descended on this video. This is when I was very, very small and not well known. And they got like a whole bunch of people, like 8 people, to all put hate comments, tore the video to shreds, said I didn't know what I was doing. It was the stupidest thing ever. I put false information out there. And I was like, this is amazing. It was so fun. I wanted to respond to every comment. Just, you have no idea how absolutely excited I was. You have no idea what kind of, previous to that time, previous to making a channel, I was in some pretty brutal Facebook groups, and I actually had a lot of fun verbally sparring with people. And I got to the point where I had a pretty thick skin. So these women coming on here, they're mostly women. I don't know if there's a few guys, but most of them had women's names. They were I was like so ready. I wanted to tear them to shreds. I was so excited. And I took a deep breath and I was like, I told myself I was not going to do that. I was not going to play in the mud. Not here. I did that too much on Facebook and I caused too, I got in too many heated stuff that wasted too much of my time going back and forth over nonsense. And I'm not going to, I said, I'm not going to do that. Oh, it hurt so bad, but I held my breath and I didn't do it. And eventually some normal people came on and was like, what's wrong with you guys? Now, I did answer their questions as far as like when they accused me of putting out false information. I said, no, this is not false. Tell me what's false. A couple of them responded normally. And I said, no, that you're wrong. That's not false. That's not false. I went back. I did some research. I found out that the only thing that might have been a little bit off was I was a little cavalier with describing how toxic polymer clay might be if you eat it. You're not supposed to eat it. You're not even supposed to eat food if you've been touching polymer clay. And I said, keep it away from kids. And if they swallow it, definitely, take them to the doctor. And everyone thought, oh, no, that's dumb. Well, I went back and did more research and found out that nobody really knows how toxic it is. It might be really toxic. It might not be that toxic, but just to be safe. And another thing, they could not believe that I said polymer clay is made from crude oil. They said how could he say that? Polymer is literally a word for plastic, and plastic comes from oil. I triple checked that to make sure. So anyway. So, okay, sorry guys. I just love talking about that video. That's my favorite video. Go watch the video. Look at the comments. They are hilarious. I actually got like companies that make polymer clay and sell it jumped on that video on little time. Oh, here's the best part. The best part is my views were like this at that time. I was a nobody. And after all those people jumped on, that video got so much attention that I tripled the amount of views I got in that week than I had ever gotten in my entire history of the channel. It bumped me up to a higher level. Not a huge level, but it bumped me up to a little bit higher level, and I've been at that level ever since. Thank you, people with crazy comments. Okay. Now, I apologize again because I go on these rants and then I miss your comments. If you have more comments, please ask them again. Questions. Thank you. Stones and wire. Most of my stones, I start getting them at Michael's, which is the closest place near me. Any craft, there's a lot of craft chains, or there could be a local place, or there could be like a stone and bead store. Buy them there so you can touch them and feel them and know what you like. Once you learn the names of them and the colors, go online and get them much cheaper. AliExpress, Amazon, more AliExpress. And then for wire, Parawire. And I heard Parawire is coming back with super soft silver. Say that 7 times fast. Super soft silver, plated copper, non-tarnished silver plate copper, which I think is better than sterling, because even sterling you have to polish. But this stuff you never have to polish. As long as you don't scratch it, it stays bright for years. I had pieces sitting out for years. Yeah, people are loving the hammered aluminum. I ordered a lot more aluminum. I'm so excited. I ordered in different colors. I'm gonna make videos. All right, I'm gonna be so good to you guys now. The guests didn't show up. I'm eating on camera. I had a 5-minute little flub where I had to text someone who almost got stranded somewhere. I'm gonna make it up to you. I'm gonna try to answer every comment now and not get too lost in my tangents. I'm gonna be super professional. Purse charms. I hear that every now and then. It sounds like a cool idea. I get a lot of suggestions for ideas that sound cool, but the amount of people who buy those small, it's not worth going to the trouble of making a lot of inventory and displays and everything. Ooh, Walmart, 99 cents for 2 yards. That's not bad. Memory wire. Never used memory wire. Memory wire is wire that's very, very, very hard and springy. It's good for bracelets, chokers, anything where you want it to hold its exact shape, but be able to open and close. So it's like a coil. You put some beads on it, you open it up, put it on your wrist, and whoop, it closes right to the same shape that you originally put it in. It's very difficult to work with compared to regular wire. That's where you really could use some muscles and some special tools. I've never used it. That's all I know from the people who have used it, who tell me about it. I haven't used anything with 9 gauge. 12 gauge aluminum is soft. It doesn't matter if it's 12 gauge. I had 10 gauge copper once. That was like, it was like pretty much a rod. And the whole point of that was to take it and bend it around a pole and try to make a cuff out of one solid piece. Like bend it around a pole, cut it with some industrial cutters, and then take a hammer and hammer the two ends so they kind of fanned out into a flat area. And I never did it. I just had it sitting in my basement on my to-do list with a million other things. You can run with pliers. That's what somebody said. I actually preferred to try to make purses. I wanted to get into industrial sewing with leather scraps and like cut up old stuff from the thrift store, like old leather purses, and make new purses. Put all like patchwork, put pieces together crazy and sew them. Never got into it. I have tons of things I want to do. And I had a friend who used to vend with me, and I never told her I wanted to do that, and she went off and did that exact thing, and her purses are beautiful. She sells them for $60, which isn't bad. All machine sewn leather scraps put together in cool ways with a funky button and like it comes, the flap over the top is not like perfectly symmetrical. It's all geometric and crazy and different cool colors it's just great. I love it. I've never done it. I'd like to maybe someday. I'm sorry, guys. It's really hard to read all this and then talk because I talk too much. My favorite type of wire. My favorite color is antique copper. This is actually antique brass, but it's close. But I don't think I had an antique copper laying around that day. But the squiggly little wire inside is antique copper. That's my favorite color. I think my favorite right now is 18 gauge. I like doubling up 18 gauge and making big, giant shapes. I don't like threading little things as much. That's not as much fun. I have big, clunky man fingers that make it easier for me to make big things than little tiny things. Ruin your cutting pliers on memory wire. Yep, that'll happen. But good things you can get little. I mean, they might not be the best, but you can get little wire cutters at like Harbor Freight for $1.75. Yeah, the hardware store. Heavy duty round nose for 9 gauge copper. I would call Parawire or look at some like jewelry sites and see if you can ask someone that question. I don't know. I've never done torch work. I'd love to. I want to do torch work with melted glass too. I did that once in a workshop. I made a pendant. I made a single pendant out of different colored melted glass, 2 different torches. It's very, very dangerous. I had to wear these forearm covers and goggles, and the instructor was like, if you let the glass get too cold or if you let the glass get too hot, it's going to explode and send hot molten shards all over the place in your face and on your arms. And I was like, oh, that's super awesome. And it's crazy. You get the glass and you get it, the temperature goes up and down based on when you hit it with the heat, how many seconds you wait after hitting it with the flame, how close the flame is. It's like it's it's like a whole thing. It's not something you can learn by reading a book. It's a whole thing you have to go by hours and hours of feeling, becoming one with the torch and the glass, and it looks so fun, but it's kind of dangerous and it's a little expensive. Solder, um, no, solder is great. Solder is good if you want to just solder is great to make like a single men's ring because I haven't found a way to make a single piece of wire bend together and just close. It stays closed. Like you always have to do some crazy wild thing and then you end up with a flower and it looks fun. I know there's ways to make like solid rings with weaving, but I haven't gotten into that. So I'd love to just solder some pieces together. I've never done solder, honestly. I know it's kind of messy and cleanup takes longer than it looks. And yeah, no, you don't need to use solder is the short answer. Anything to secure a wire, you can just wrap it a certain way. If you do it right, it will be secure. And then at the very, just a little extra, sometimes I'll throw a dollop of E6000 in the last little part where the wire's tucked. And it's usually good. Oh my gosh, hit the like button, please. You guys are so awesome. It is good. I'm getting tired. I have to make a goal of falling asleep at midnight, or at least being in bed. Lights out midnight. After this is over, I'm going to do the day 6 check-in. So everybody, day 6 check-in is coming. If you're going to be in bed by then, just put it on the comment tomorrow. Let me know how you did. I should have done it before this video, but I was juggling a bunch of stuff. No, you don't have to solder jump rings. Jump rings are like, here's a little surprise for you. Most chains you buy in the store, even really tough chains, I'm not talking about like the kind of chains that like lift heavy equipment, like tons of weight. I mean, necklace chains, bracelet chains. Take those and look at them very carefully. 9 times out of 10, every single link has an opening. Every single link was closed by machinery and is not soldered. Like jump rings it's strong enough metal that as long as it stays like that, it's not going to open unless you put incredible pressure on it, which people know better not to do with jewelry. Oh, thank you, Lydia. Thank you, Diva. Thank you, everybody giving compliments that I'm not immediately acknowledging. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, this is pretty easy. I haven't been asked any crazy, wild questions, just a few in the beginning. Is there anything else you want to ask? Or I don't know. Just hang out. Let's just have fun. You're awesome too, Jennifer. Oh, sterling is soldered and the others are not soldered. Okay, see, I learned something. Oh, I never said if I like working with polymer clay or not. I love working with polymer clay. I spent about half a year only making polymer clay jewelry. I quit because I was super disappointed to find out it's a lot more brittle than I thought. It came when I think I was making a net someone, and I found out that person just gave another person a hug, and it broke the pendant. Because polymer clay is like, if you make it into fat round beads, it's pretty hard. I mean, it's pretty indestructible unless you step on it with all your might on concrete, but it can take some wear and tear. But if you're making delicate pieces that stick out, like if you make an animal or if you try to make a curly mustachio, or you try to make some antennae, that polymer clay is really, really brittle, and one little bump and poof, breaks. Resin is much tougher. It's harder to use, and it takes a lot more setup. It's a little bit more fumes issues and junk, but I want to do some resin. I definitely want to do some resin. But yeah, the short answer is I love polymer clay. It's super fun. I didn't get to the level where I could make the polymer clay look metallic with with special paint and special hammering techniques. I have a cousin who does that. I'd love to get her on. She lives like 6 hours away from here, but she does the most gorgeous polymer clay jewelry. It looks like hammered pieces of metal. But polymer clay is super fun. So at my level, it still looks kind of like kids' toys. It doesn't look exactly as rich and luxurious as semi-precious stones or swirls of metal wire, which I think, looks really cool. But I love polymer clay, and I'm gonna make some polymer clay earrings in a video pretty soon. I just gotta put aside the time and break out that polymer clay I had. I might even have them packed from the last video if it didn't dry out. Square wire. I started to order some square wire. I couldn't find it. I have to get it from Parawire. I tried to order it from Amazon, and I could not find it in the color I wanted, and at the last minute I canceled. I really want to use square wire. That looks super fun. And tell me if you think this is good. I was going to order 18 gauge as my first attempt at square wire. So tell me if you think that is a good gauge to start with. 17. I have 34 likes. Maybe they're not showing up on everyone's screen yet. Interchangeable charms. Okay, interchangeable charms, super fun. I have a video called, I think it's called Attachable Detachable Pieces. I actually make a bracelet cuff, and then I take some stones and I wrap a simple, like stones with beads, like stones with holes drilled through them. And I do a simple wrap where there's 2 loops coming out. And then I take those 2 loops and I show you how you can wrap them around this cuff and attach them anywhere you want, and then detach them. I'm going to do it on paper real quick to show you. There's a bunch of ways you can do, this is the reading list from last week. There's a bunch of ways you can do detachable, like basically here's a stone, right? Get the wire going through it, right? Make a big loop at the top. And then this loop can bend around like this to attach to other other pieces and other things. So you could have like an earring, right? Here's an earring with a loop at the bottom, and then you have another piece. Whoops, got to keep this on camera. Then you have another piece, and you make that big loop at the top, right? And then this can go through here and curl around like that, and then you have an attachable, detachable piece. Hope that made sense. I should do more videos on it. It's pretty fun. There's a lot of fun ways to do that. I don't know how sellable that stuff is. Every time you do something crazy new concept, if you really want to make it make money, you got to develop a whole structure around it of a lot of inventory, a lot of displays, a method of selling, a way to call out to people and have a few taglines that are going to catch their interest. Like, that's why I don't run with every single idea that people throw out there. Like, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this. Have you tried this? I try to stick with what I really know works, and then slowly experiment with like newer and weirder stuff. Oh, 21 gauge. Ooh, that's interesting. Good night. Good night. Yeah, 18 gauge copper wire on Amazon. That's what I almost bought. It was like a giant spool for like 16 bucks. But I'm tired of the bright copper. I wanted like dark antique copper or black gunmetal. Those are the 2 colors I wanted, and I didn't see them. So the user could bend it and unbend it themselves. Yeah, if you make the loop like soft enough with thin gauge that you can pull it apart with your fingers, then you can show the customer how to take it on and off themselves. Clip-on ear. I keep clip-ons all the time. Keep clip-on attachments. If somebody doesn't have pierced ears, I say pick any pair of earrings. I usually use the hooks, the fishing hooks. I'll take the hooks off. I'll put the clips on. There you go. Now you have clip-on. You can get a whole bunch of attachable clip-on attachments, like 20 of them at an art store for like $3. Oh, protect your pieces when you're done. Humidity. Uh, no. I keep all my pieces out on display all the time now. They get covered by a tarp at night, but that's just to prevent theft. I just sell stuff fast enough that it doesn't tarnish, and if I have stuff for more than a year that does tarnish, I usually just take it down and replace it with something else. But like the non-tarnished wire and the copper coated wire just stays good indefinitely. So once in a while, I have trouble with chains. I buy chains in bulk, silver plated chains. I don't even know if they're really silver plated. Half of them, more than half of them, turn gray or yellow within a year if they're sitting out for the whole year. So I just replace them if they haven't sold. And I'm honest with the customers. I'm like, this is going to stay, this is going to stay, this is going to stay. The chain you might need to replace in a year. And I said, if you bring it back, I'll replace it for free. And if not, that actually helps me to sell the leather cord and the black woven cotton cord, which looks just like leather cord. You might not know which is which if you're not used to them. This black cord, people will prefer when you start explaining to them that their silver chain is going to tarnish in a year. And the black cord is so inexpensive. Like if you buy 200 of these, they come out to like 20 cents each or less. It's ridiculous. Like insane. Yeah, if it's silver plated, I don't think you can clean it. I think once it's tarnished, it's done, because that's the microscopic coating coming off, and underneath it is like a base metal of copper or some other metal, and that's the color it's going to be. It's either gray or yellow. Stainless steel chain, now that's a good way to go, but it's not as bright and pretty, so there's a trade-off. If you have real sterling, solid sterling, yeah, there's a lot of ways to polish it. I've heard copper, if you have bare copper that's not coated and it starts to tarnish, just dip it in a solution of water and lemon juice, and that'll take the tarnish right off. And then you have bright copper again. This is super. I'm actually getting tired. I think I might go to sleep at a normal time this tonight. Baking soda, lemon vinegar. You guys are just answering all the questions yourselves. I'm just gonna like sit here and let you guys ask questions and have other people answer them. And I'm going to learn to juggle. Two markers and a paint thing. Ready? I think I got pretty good. And I'll do a little bit more tomorrow. Ugh, how can you purchase my artwork? Well, if I was responsible, I would have a website up that you could actually buy through. Jaquar, did I say that right? The best is to message me directly at Matt's Crazy Art. Not the group, but the actual Facebook page, the business page. It's www.facebook.com/macrasart. Let me write it down. It's facebook.com, all one word, Macrasart. Macrasart. Do you see the cleverness? Macrasart. It's all one word. That's there. Message me. Message. I'll probably see it within a day. I would see it right away, but Facebook is weird, and half the time they change everything and hide stuff. But I will find it. Message me and say, hey, I want to purchase your art, and I'll say, hey, what kind of art? And then we'll talk. And then if we figure it out and we come to a conclusion, I'll mail it to you. I'm so sorry. I really need a website where people can just click and put it in their shopping cart and hit pay and it'll happen. I know Etsy is good for that, but I've done Etsy 3 times and I have no time to run another Etsy right now. It doesn't work for me in the past. And in the future I might do Shopify or Amazon, I don't know, or eBay. You make a site with Square now. That's cool. Square is what I use for credit cards. I suggest everyone use Square unless you already have a significant account with PayPal. PayPal is good too. The info on the bottom info thing. What do you mean? Oh, post the info. Yeah. Yeah, I can post the info at the end of this video on I think I can post a description of at the bottom of the video, but that's going to be an hour from now when it goes online again. I've never done the oxidizing. I've never patinaed copper. I had a friend who did it. Looked cool. I found another person at a place who would use torches to turn their copper literally rainbow colors, purple, blue, red, yellow, orange, and then they'd seal it in these crazy rainbow colors. And they said it took years of experimentation to get it down to that, and wouldn't even share anything with me. They were so guarding their secret, which is I talked about in the past, I think is a little bit silly, but I'm not going to tell another artist how to do something as long as they're being nice to everybody. Cold hot chocolate is good. Patina. Copper is a raw element. Copper is the most basic you can get. You can't break it down more than that without a nuclear reaction. But copper, it's on the periodic table. Copper, like other metals, reacts to the moisture in the air by oxygen fuses with it immediately and turns it into something else. And to us, we call it rust, the lay term. But iron turns into the most gross rust, like that brownish, reddish. I'm going to sneeze. It's coming. Maybe not. So that's what oxidation is. It's literally the scientific word for rust, but it sounds way cooler. Copper can turn several colors. It can turn green very often. It can turn brown. That's why antique copper, the color antique copper is like a brownish red. It can turn brownish red. It can turn almost black. But people who purposely patina or oxidize their copper, what they do is they put their copper in a controlled setting with certain chemicals that speed up the process. So what would normally take place over a year's time of just normal exposure to the moisture in the air, they speed it up so it happens overnight, or it happens over 48 hours. And you could do that with ammonia, and you could do it with different chemicals. And a lot of you seem to know liver of sulfur. A lot of you seem to know more about it. And you can purposely turn your copper green, and then you seal it. Once you turn it, you have to seal it, or it's going to keep turning something else. But when you get it to the color you want, and you can get really cool, weird swirls of green and regular copper, and you could get beautiful patterns. It looks like an oil, like you ever see the oil used to drop in the street when you were a little kid. I don't see it that much anymore, but people drop, you see little oil spills, make little rainbows. People do that. That's fun. And you could do it with torches too. Those little handheld torches, you can hit the copper in just the right way. I tried it once. I was too impatient. It turned black away because I hit it too hard and I was impatient. But if you really learn how to do it, you can get really cool colors. Yeah. So it looks like a lot of you have done oxidizing and patinaed copper, and it's fun. and great. And I have not. I've only seen my friend who the girl who taught me the most about wire wrapping. She went to college for art and she majored in 3D art and she did a lot of focus on jewelry and she did a lot of patina stuff. She was doing stuff with cat litter and ammonia and it like covering it with a bowl and letting the kitty litter and the ammonia like the fumes get all over the copper overnight and then checking it in the morning. It was she did it out on her driveway. It was really weird. I'm sure there's some great YouTube videos about that, but you are not allowed to watch any other YouTube videos except the sanctioned Matt's Crazy Art videos. If anyone watches any other videos on YouTube that are not under this channel, I will put down this Chinese food right now and I will get in my car and find you and say hi. I'm not sure. I didn't have a plan after that. I was hoping you would just get scared enough from that threat and just be like, sorry, you're starting to click on something. Whoop. I think I sufficiently intimidated enough people. I will go easy now. Boom. I'm trying not to do too many carbs, but there's something about that brown rice with the gravy from the Chinese place. It's got to be a ton of sugar in, but it's so good. I always tell them to give me a lot less rice. They try to fill the whole thing up with rice because it looks like you have a lot more food than you do because rice is less expensive than meat. I don't blame them. You still get a lot of food for a good price, but over the pond, does that mean England? Does that mean you're up in the middle of the night? Jennifer's going to watch other YouTube videos, so I will come and chase her down and find her just to say hi. Skittles, taste the rainbow. What are the most important materials? They're just starting out. I'm going to scare everybody. Go to Walmart. Go to the craft section. Get the 3 pliers for $8. I thought they were 10. They're only $8 for $8 for the whole set. Turquoise, pink, and purple. The cutest girly colors. So I've been using that for 10 years. I bought expensive pliers and they didn't last any longer than these cheapy ones. Now you can find ones with really sharper tips, but I am lazy and irresponsible. So I just keep buying these $8 sets. I give them to my friends. And then go get some 20 gauge wire and start with 20 gauge and then watch the you have to watch all my videos. And I even have a video where I say exactly this. I say, get that set, get some 20 gauge wire, get some stones, watch my video. Go to Michael's, go to an art store, a craft store, go ask where their jewelry section is, ask where their stones, find stones on a strand, like beads. Pick your favorite ones, whatever you think looks cool. Take them home. Take your 20 gauge wire. Take your pack of 3 from Walmart, your 3 pliers. You got the flat nose, the round nose, and the cutters. And go crazy. I'm falling asleep. Hi, Renee. You're never late. You're just on time. Oh, you're 13 years old. Well, have your mom take you and get that stuff. I think. Yeah, rice is their bread. Yeah. I'm reading everything backwards. Sorry. You're on England on a late night shift. That's awesome. Shopper with Geicos. The shopper with Geicos. Oh, the shopper that had little lizards on his chest. I've never seen him since that video. Oh, he was cool. He was like 6'7" and he had the deepest voice. Go watch that video. I think it's called I want to say armadillo. That's totally wrong. Iguana. It's called the iguana. I think it's called the iguana pendant. Yeah. I don't even think they were iguanas, but I decided they were. I think they were bearded lizards or something. Bearded dragons. Dragon beards. Um, Aluminum is. I used to hate aluminum until I started hammering it. Now I love it. I think I'm gonna make a whole aluminum coat of armor and just wear that around everywhere and jingle as I walk. Is there a way to drill a hole in stones? No. Okay, there is, but it's hard and it's not worth it. I say buy stones with holes drilled already and learn to wrap stones that don't have a hole. Both of those are way, way, way easier than trying to drill your own hole. Drilling a hole, the stones you buy that are drilled, they were done by a humongous machine with perfect precision where the stone is lined up just right, probably by a robot. And they have the teeniest, tiniest little drill bit, and they have a water jet that shoots at the stone while it's being drilled so the friction doesn't heat up so much that the bit breaks. And I've had some people say they can take a handheld drill, which is made for wood, and usually, and they can drill through a stone, but they need to take, they have to have like pour water on it at the same time. It sounds like a mess. I tried drilling through the tiniest stone once. I think I tried drilling through seashell, like the thinnest seashell. It took forever, and I gave up. Finding rocks and tumbling them is super fun, but you got to do it away from your house because it sounds like rocks in a dryer. It takes like 3 weeks. So if you want, imagine putting rocks in your dryer and letting that dryer run for 3 weeks. Imagine how you would sleep. So most people, I'd say, they should do it like in a garage or a shed that's away from the house. Rio Grande has hollow diamond drill. You're going to break through those hollow diamond drill bits. I don't know. I shouldn't say that. I don't know for sure. But yeah, it's easy to chip the stone, not just break the bit. It's easy to break the stone. Like, do it if you want to try it. I've had people have told me they've had success with it, but I'm telling you, like, it's a lot of work when you can get the difference between a stone with a hole and a stone without a hole is usually like pennies if you buy them in the store. Yep, Alice, someone said it just as Sweet Pea said the exact same thing, just as I said. It's like Sweet Pea and I are telepathically joined. We have that ESPN going on. We're up to over an hour. Oh my gosh. Stan did it. I knew it. I knew there was some guy who did it. I bet Stan is the same one who mentioned it before that he did it. Somewhere I read it. I don't know if it was a Facebook group or a comment on a video. Diamond bits with his Dremel tool, and he used a small bowl of water for lubrication. Must go slow, flat stones, and a lot of time. So he's not drilling through a really long stone like when you have a bead. It's called a bead if there's a hole drilled through it. No, even if it's a giant stone. He's drilling through the flat part of a stone, and he goes slow. He uses a Dremel tool, and he has a bowl of water. I guess he keeps dipping it in the bowl of water to cool it down. He uses it for stones he collected on trips. Stan, you're the man. Stan the man. Stan is my new he's my new go-to if I want to drill a stone that I found somewhere. Sweet Pea buys stones on eBay. Sounds good. Amazon or Hobby Lobby sounds good. 1/4 inch memory stones for people from vacation. I don't know what that means. Oh, 1/4 inch. Yeah, okay. So he doesn't try to drill through anything thicker than 1/4 inch. Oh, memory stones, meaning like the stone is like a token of a memory from the vacation you went on. That's cool. And then you could wear it like a necklace or whatever. Allison would electrocute herself. Yeah, water and electricity. That's a good thing to consider, not mixing too much. I would imagine you don't want to put the Dremel tool in the water, but you want to maybe like you're dremeling the stone and you want to dip the stone every now and then. Stan will tell you how that works. He's the expert. Oh gosh, poor Raven. Joined the rock club and then broke your ankle. I broke my ankle once. That was my only broken bone. I think I broke my nose a few times, but that's not technically a bone. And I think I broke my toe once, but that tends to heal on its own, and you don't really know for sure if it was broken if you didn't get an x-ray. Winter camping. That sounds freezing. Oh, you put the dip, just the tip of the bit in the water. Yeah. So that's, I guess that's safe from electrocution if you don't put the entire Dremel tool in the water. Oh, okay. I think I'm only going to go an hour and a half this time, guys. I've gone 2 hours almost every show. I'm getting tired. Yep, Paula called it before I even said it. Um, Debbie, would you? Oh my goodness. Debbie, if there's ever a natural disaster and I'm standing next to you, I'm just going to slide over a little bit. Oh my goodness. There's a funny, oh, you shouldn't watch it. Horrible movie. There's a horrible movie. It's a Tarantino movie, but it describes me. It's about a bunch of stunt women, like people who do stunts for movies as a profession, and they're friends. Actually, they're a couple stunt women and then a couple of their friends, and they're just these women that are friends. And the one woman, she always describes how she falls and never gets hurt. And the other woman is like, I trip over a piece of dust and end up in the hospital. And this woman like falls down a 10-foot ditch and comes out completely unscathed. And I'm like, yep, that's me. I'm the second woman. It's a horrible movie though. You shouldn't see it. It's like in every way, it's just ridiculously carnage for the sake of like blah. But it was on TV one time and I was watching it and I was like, oh, that's funny, that's me. And then the movie turned really crazy and I was like, whoa, this is a creepy movie. It's not one of Tarantino's more popular ones. It's like it's a some indie type film. But if you know what it is, you know what it is. If not, I'm not even gonna say recommend it. But it's funny because this particular stunt woman ends up getting thrown from a car in the middle of the action when a bad guy's trying to kill her. She gets thrown from a car at like 60 miles an hour and like rolls into a pile of grass. And then you hear after you learned all about her, then you hear this voice come from the pile of grass. I'm okay. It's just funny. That's the only part I liked about it. Became a flyer only because friends broke bones. What's a flyer? What country are we coming from? Is that like a pilot? Debbie is a daredevil. Daredevil Debbie. Triple D. Oh, that sounds like something else. Oh, oh my goodness. Hmm. I like hanging out with you guys. This is so fun. I'm like not I'm not worried about the agenda anymore. I like the questions you asked. It was fun answering. I'm just gonna chill here for a minute, and you guys can say anything you want. Hi, Nancy. Oh, Renee, that's so nice. If you're referring to me, you're probably referring to something else. But next week's guest, yes, good question. I'm gonna try to get Jen on. I don't know. Um. Oh, yeah. I have. Um. Let me give you guys some options. No, I can't do that. My cousin. I'd like to get my cousin on. I can't do that till January. I have a cousin who does all holistic skincare stuff. That's her like big business, and she's awesome. And I wanted to get her on because I wanted to just help her promote her stuff and talk about somebody else doing something entrepreneurial. Um, uh, yeah, this Jen person is super cool, but hopefully she can come on next week. She just works too much and she burns herself out, and I'm worried about her. I'm always bringing her coffee and making sure she's okay. And sure enough, she ended up taking on a whole bunch of stuff, and then another thing was dumped on her at the last minute, and she's going to be up late tonight working on that when she needs to be sleeping. Oh, Renee, you're super awesome and amazing. And you're the best person in your entire city. And if anybody else says otherwise, they have to talk to me about it. You wire our world. Debbie, silly. You're silly, but I guess after breaking all those bones, you're entitled to be silly. Oh my goodness. Let's see, what are we up to? Hour 17. We got 13 minutes left. AliExpress. No, someone said to buy wire from them. I looked it up. I couldn't find it right away. I gave up. I bought wire from Amazon. That's the only place since Parawire was annoying me with their super hard and kinked up silver. But apparently everyone's saying Parawire is coming out with good batches of soft silver now, so I'm going to try them. But I did buy from Amazon. I bought 20 and 22 and 18 gauge silver plated wire, and it was just as horrible as the worst of the Parawire. It was so hard. I'm using it. It just when that wire is really hard like that, you go to bend it, and instead of making a perfect swirl, it jars into these sharp square shapes, and it won't come undone. It's so, and when you try to like, instead of going smooth, it's almost like half memory wire. It's horrible. It like bounces all over the place, whereas like just regular copper is so smooth, and you can just twist it, and it's like clay. And when you take regular copper and you bend it, it makes this perfect arc. And when you swirl it, the swirl is circular. It's so nice. eBay. But yeah, Parawire, it was great. And then they started putting out these batches of silver that were too hard, and I got mad. I stopped ordering from them. And I think I'm going to give them another chance. And maybe if I can tell them I'm super like celebrity now, maybe I'll talk them into giving me some free wire if I throw them a shout out. Or maybe I'll just pay for it like a normal human being. I could go into like restaurants and be like, I don't know if you've seen my channel, but I think you'd like to give me a free meal so that, I don't give your restaurant a bad review. Hmm. There was a funny episode on South Park about that. New ring designs. You guys tell me why, because you guys know what's going on. The collective, all of you know a lot of stuff I don't know. Of my top 10 videos, like 7 of them are ring videos. Like the first 3 blow away all the others are ring videos, and then there's like maybe 2 that are not, and then there's like 5 more that are ring videos. Like, people love videos on rings. Is it because a lot of other channels don't do rings as much? Is it because rings are in style? Because I see a lot more people filling up their fingers, not just wearing one ring. I don't know. You guys weigh in whatever you think. I'm gonna do something where I just ask you guys questions. I think I'll do that next week if I can't get another guest. I'll just be like, you guys have a lot of knowledge, and we all have fingers. Um, Good night. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Ask any last questions. If I missed a question, I was not trying to be rude. I ask it again and I shall try to answer. Coupon code for your followers. That sounds fun. I'll try that. I'll say, hey, Parawire, can we get a coupon code? That's awesome. Let me write that down because I forget everything. That's a good idea. Lee, L-E-I, Lee Strickland. I'm going to give you credit if I remember, which I probably won't. Coupon code at Parawire, right? Parawire, yay. Maybe I can tie that into my whole presentation and get them to give me some freebie stuff. Make myself sound, if I say coupon code, I sound like a big shot. More ear cuffs, really? Okay. Ear cuffs are fun. I do sell intentionally. Intentionally, I've never heard that word, but I think I know what you mean. I started out sitting behind the table, like, if people want to buy, they'll buy. And I barely said hello. And then I realized quickly, talking people up and trying to convince them to sell is not being dishonest or manipulative. It's what most people want. Most people are bored out of their mind, and they want an experience with a happy, pleasant person who is going to try to help them narrow down something that would make them happy. If they stopped, they're obviously interested. They have a whole bunch of reservations. You have a whole bunch of pieces. You help them narrow down their reservations and find their favorite piece, and then you give them a good price that might be lower than what it's listed, and you make their day, and people love that, and that is intentional selling, I think. So British size W, what? The British have letter sizes? You don't measure fingers in metric? Beverly, if I missed your comment, just ask it again. I am not trying to not see it. I'm just really, really, really ADHD. Stan? Stan, you must be a happy person if you're drilling through stones. My favorite flavor of the alphabet is raspberry teal. Q. Stan is the man. Six minutes. I hope you guys had a good time. I enjoyed you guys. I would do this all day, every day if it worked. If I could just have a 12-hour a day live channel, I would do it. I would make my jewelry here, and I would drink my coffee, and I would stay all day. I don't know if that would be a good idea, but my point is I look forward to this all week also. I love this is the least stressful thing about this entire channel. And the channel isn't really stressful. I love doing the videos and I love seeing the comments. Um but this really takes like this is like swimming. If you enjoy swimming, this is just fun. Yeah, a live Truman Show. I'll see you. I'd have to sign off. I'll see you yesterday, tomorrow, and this evening, or however he says it. I could live stream while I work, but like I would need to hire someone to take the camera and follow me, because otherwise you would just see my face like this with my eyes down as I'm like working, or like because I if I'm not paying attention to the camera really specifically, I go off camera immediately. I'm like just doing a whole bunch of. I'd have to have someone with a camera like. So when I get rich, I'll hire someone to just follow me around everywhere. You're trying to figure out the mall. You mean which mall? It's Central Pennsylvania. It's the largest mall. It's the second largest mall in all of Central Pennsylvania. No, in all of Pennsylvania. It's the second. I believe it's the second most successful mall in Pennsylvania. I think it was at one time. You figured it out. I saw some flurries the other day. They didn't really stick. Just flurried for a second. Bridal headpiece. I was asked to do a gypsy headpiece once, and that was really tricky. And I don't even think I finished it because the customer wasn't committed more than anything else. I think I did a couple. They're called slave bracelets, which is horrible, but like where you have a bracelet and a ring with a chain or a couple chains connecting them. I did a couple of those back in the day by request because you have to make it fit very specifically to the person unless you really know what you're doing. And I hadn't done a bunch of them, so I didn't know. So I had to have the person there to fit it to them. Round nose pliers? Get round nose pliers. Like you need round nose pliers. Beverly, that's funny. I mean, I could do all of wire wrapping with needle nose pliers and cutters. King of Prussia is the number one. It's the number two. That's a little harder to find. I was in King of Prussia for a while. I'd still be in King of Prussia. I shouldn't say this on video, but I had some. The rent was ridiculously high, and they could justify the rent when they were at the top of their game, but they refused. When I say they, I had some specific management issues, and I did my very best to negotiate them fairly. And I would, to say it very, very understated, I didn't get very far. And then this other mall was sweet and wonderful and gave me the deal of a lifetime. So I left King of Prussia. But this other mall is about an hour away from King of Prussia. So maybe if that helps you figure it out. Coating for tools, just practice enough and you won't mar the wire, then you don't need coating. No, you can buy this gooey stuff you put on, I think, or you can wrap your tools in masking tape or painter's tape. That's stuff, all stuff I've heard people do. I've never tried it. I just mar the wire and throw it away. If I throw it at the wall, I get angry. I eat it, bite it. I stab myself with it just because I'm mad at myself as well as the wire. And then I just keep going, and eventually I learned to make stuff without marring the wire. No, I've actually scratched the wire a lot, and I've tried to cover it up with Sharpie and file it and cover it up with Sharpie and hit it with a touch of paint and all kinds of silly stuff, or just cut off that one piece and make something a little different, or just start all over. But I prefer to almost never start over. I almost always try to save it, whether that's good or not. And now I've just gotten to the point after thousands and thousands of pieces, I almost never scratch the wire ever. I can tell by the angle I'm going in immediately, I can tell if it's a safe angle, a safe amount of pressure or not. And I can, if I'm about to scratch it, I can see it coming and I readjust. And that's fun when you get to that point. But until then, you can use painter's tape or masking tape. Someone else confirmed. I've never tried it, but it sounds good. It sounds cheaper than buying some kind of goop, but maybe the goop is good. We're at 1:30. Last few questions. I'll go to 1:35. Any more? Questions. I'm so confused. Okay. Skittles said 13, and now she is saying wife stuff. And finals, violin, and Korean. Okay. I'm just gonna. Any more? No more questions. We've answered all the questions ever. This is gonna be really. I don't know what we're gonna do the next year if we do this every Tuesday. Thank you, Skittles. Oh, good. You can be like me. You just gotta find a good beard surgeon. I recommend. There was 3 I tried before I got the beard I really was looking for. Goodbye, Renee. Goodbye, Allison. No questions. No questions. No more questions. Everybody's all questioned out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Tomorrow, day 6. Yeah, tonight, day 6. Tonight is officially day 6 check-in. I'll make the video right after I hang up the phone here. Or whatever. Oh, Stan, okay. You get it at a hardware store, it's cheaper. That's like a lot of things. You get it at the hardware store, it's cheaper than the art store. If it's the same stuff. Good night. No questions. No questions. None. None at all. So you have 3 minutes. Oh my goodness, Debbie, you are so silly. No, I didn't see your comments about a job interview. Please ask him again. Quick. Mindy, the agenda for next Tuesday is you set the agenda. Put it in the comment. You give me an idea. Give me some ideas and I'll pick one. Nose rings, that's cool. Yeah. No, really. Ask some more questions. You have 2 minutes. Questions. Okay. All right, you can put your comment on this video later and I'll see it. I don't see these comments. There's probably a way to, but I don't see these comments when I go back and watch it later, but I see new comments of people who are watching it, the replay. Holiday jewelry. Doesn't work for me. Snowmen in the December or hearts in February. I had some success with spiders in October. That's about it. Other than that, holiday jewelry, not really, doesn't really do it for me. People tend to buy jewelry for gifts. I definitely have holiday sales, but not holiday themes. It doesn't work. It might work for some people. It doesn't. I don't sell snowflakes in December. I have a lot of snowflake charms. They don't sell. I mean, they sell in July as easily as they do in December. Yeah, spiders. I have to send one to Allison. I tell her every single live. I saw it in the drawer today. I looked at it. I was like, I have to send that to her. I'm the worst at mailing stuff, which is another reason I didn't like Etsy that much. And I like selling right on the spot. But that's no excuse. There's 2 people I have to send spider necklace and earrings to because they won this competition like 2 months ago. Okay, it's 1:34. We're almost there. All right, you guys are awesome. Thank you, thank you. I love all of you. You're the best. You are wonderful. You are everything. Jump on the Facebook page. Throw some comments on. Go scroll down and look at some old videos on the video tab. Find some super old ones and watch how crazy and goofy they were back then, and put some comments, put some new comments on old videos. Good night, good night, good night. Hopefully I'll see you next week, and I'll try to have a guest, and I'll try to plan some kind of theme.